Welcome to the Fancy Thinker. I'm Jerry Quartermatch, and today we are doing our March 2024 update. So, what did I read in February? I read The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This fantastic book, which everybody on YouTube is apparently talking about, including me. And I had a discussion earlier today with Matt from Matt on Books, and his choice was The Spear Cuts Through Water. And so that should be up sometime tomorrow, maybe the next day. Still working on that. But check that out. And I also did a review on it. I did a review in second person. So you can probably tell by that this book is something different, something special, and definitely highly recommend you check it out. I also finished Stories of Your Life by Ted Chiang. And we did this as part of our short story selections on Speculative Speculations podcast. So I put a link to that podcast below. But Stories of Your Life, I started last month and finished this month. And really hit or miss on some of the stories in this book. They great ideas, great ideas. Not so keen on the execution. I know a lot of people like it, and if you like big sci-fi ideas, that you know, then this book could be for you because there is really a lot of great stuff in there. To me, I didn't click with his style. Um, I thought it was I thought some of the stories went on too long, which is, for a short story, that's it should. I thought there could have been more ideas, and but anyway, the book was okay. It was okay. So check it out if you like big sci-fi ideas in short stories. Um, Next, I read Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and talk about big sci-fi ideas. This book was fantastic. Told in the first person from a biologist's point of view, but I can't get further into that without giving anything away. But this was a great book for a sci-fi book. It's book one in the Southern Reach trilogy, which is soon to be a quadrilogy, because I guess a fourth book's coming out soon. But for now, it's a trilogy, and this is the first book in it, and it was spectacular. A lot of fun, to read. Um, Next was Lord of Light, which by Roger Zelazny, which I read as part of the Sci-Fi Masterworks read along on pagechewing.com. And Lord of Light, Roger Zelazny. Wow, what a book! It was so much fun to read this. Zelazny's prose is outstanding, and I really can't wait to get some more into Zelazny in the future. So I just can't recommend this one highly enough. Plays with mythology, plays with fantasy. It's really not that much sci-fi. I mean, there's a little bit in there, but he plays with the ideas of sci-fi, and he plays with uh, definitely plays with a lot of mythology, especially Hindu and Buddhist. So check that out. Lord of Light by Roger Zelazny. All right, and so what else did I finish in February? I just finished this doozy here, Dune by Frank Herbert. So good. Uh, it 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 had been over 20 years since I last read this book, and I was impressed with it the first time I read it back then. But on this reread, I'm more impressed with it because wow, this is like the original epic fantasy in space, basically. I know it's supposed to be labeled as sci-fi, but he has all the best of a good fantasy story in here, and I think that's reflected by the popularity of the movies right now. I hope to go see the movie tomorrow, and I can't wait. I really love the first one, but I really love the book. It's so good. So much stuff I didn't remember from the first time I read it that just reminded me now of how good it is. So definitely go out. If you have never read Dune, do yourself a favor. It's fantastic. All right. What else did I read in February? I read The Fade Out by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, one of my favorite graphic novels of all time, comic book series. So that is just top tier comic book storytelling. Check out The Fade Out. I also read some short stories. Uh, I read a another story out of my collection of swords and dark magic, the new sword and sorcery, and I read the story called "A Wizard in Wizazan, Wissazan, something like that, by C.J. Sherry. Really fantastic story that just gives it all to you. It gives you the wizard and his pupil trope, and she does it so spectacularly um, that you really got into these characters in such a short time and really wanted to find out more about them, and you really, and the story just it wrapped up so well, and it was just very well done. I really liked that story a lot. And I also read a nice short story called The Library of Babel by Jorge Luis Borges from back in 1941. Um, and that guy, what a trip! What a trip that story was. So if you've never read Borges, do yourself a favor and check that out. Um, and not the easiest read in the world, but it was thought provoking, um, which is what good sci-fi is supposed to do. So I also read let's see, I read a nice little folk tale out of this book, The Chinese Myths and Folk Tales. This little folk tale was pretty interesting because it was like a modern day. It was kind of modern, but it was also very very folkish, very. It was really it's about honor and worthiness in the family dynamic, and so uh you know quite interesting that I was expecting something more, a little more magical, and it really didn't have much of that at all. So that was interesting. I'll have to see what else is in that. I mean, there's thousands of tales in there, so I'll be reading a little bit here and there out of there. Editing Jared here. I also read a short story collection called Returns from Mark Lawrence, which are two short stories that go into the world of the book that wouldn't burn and go right along with it. That complement it, I should say. And they're wonderful short stories that should be read if you like the book that wouldn't burn. Check them out. And I also read what else did I finish? That's ongoing, reading the short stories, and and some other short stories that I might have read. Was a couple more sci-fi short stories that I'm doing with the Speculative Speculations podcast, and um, including one by H.G. Wells and another one by Rokeya Sahawat Hossein. Which was fantastic. Um, Loving these old sci-fi short stories. They're a lot of fun, a lot of great ideas, and these ones are actually short in there, and they hit the spot. All right, so what am I reading right now? The biggest thing I'm reading and the best thing I'm reading right now is Grand Conspiracy by Janie Wirtz. I'm entering the last three chapters now, and it is big time awesome. If you have not started the Wars of Light and Shadow yet, what are you waiting for? This is grand epic fantasy on the grandest epic scale ever. And so this is book five. Can't wait to finish that off. So I'm in the middle of that. I am also reading right now Dust of Dreams by Stephen Erickson. Yet another grand epic fantasy and the grandest epicness of all time. And so this is my reread. It's book nine in the Malice and Book of the Fallen, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. I forgot how much humor is involved in the first, at least the first couple of chapters of that book, because I know the rest of the book is pretty dark. So it's really cool, really good. I am also reading Authority by Jeff Vandermeer. This is book 2 in the Southern Reach trilogy, and having a good time with that. The point of view perspective changes in this book, and that was really cool. I like how he did it, and I like how you learn more of the story through somebody else's eyes. Very cool. And what else am I reading? I am also reading Following Caesar by John Cahey, something like that. And this is a nonfiction book about this guy's travels through Italy and the Balkans, where he followed the path of a lot of people who were involved with Julius Caesar, and so it was. It's kind of like a travelogue, so it's okay. It's I'm about halfway through, and I'll definitely finish it. It's not the in-depth history, big picture history that I usually like, but it's still very entertaining. He has an easy writing style, and it's really cool learning about some of those places in Italy that where that ancient those ancient roots still exist. Some of them still, you can still see them, over 2,000-year road. So pretty cool stuff. What else am I reading right now? Wow. All right. I think that's all I'm reading right now. So what's coming up? I am going to read The Fifth Head of Cerberus by Gene Wolfe as the next book in our sci-fi masterworks read along. And I also plan on reading The Farthest Shore by Ursula K. Le Guin. I know I promised that last month, but I will definitely get to it this month. And book 3 in the Earthsea, the original Earthsea trilogy by Ursula K. Le Guin. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also, of course, am looking forward to the 6th book in the Wars of Light and Shadow as soon as I get to that Peril's Gates. And I also am going to be reading Where the Body Was by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So I'm looking forward to getting to that. I love these guys' work, and I just this is their latest, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. I will continue on with short stories as well. I want to continue on some short stories in some tales before Tolkien, and of course more in the Chinese myths and folk tales and the Swords and Dark Magic collections. So I think. Oh wait, no, there's more. I'm also reading the comics that are coming out that are adapting Assassin's Apprentice, and so there will be another issue this month, and I will do another set of chapters that corresponds with that issue. And that's how I'm reading this. I know, strange, but we do what we gotta do. All right, that's I think that's enough now. Okay. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and be good to each other.